You want him to crave you, right? Like really crave you. Like he can't stop thinking about you even when you're not around. That kind of craving doesn't come from being available all the time or always being sweet, agreeable, and perfectly pleasant. It comes from emotional contrast. You see, the human brain doesn't get addicted to something flat. We get addicted to highs and lows, to tension and release. Think about it. Even when you binge watch a show, it's not because every scene is the same. It's because the story keeps you on your toes. It builds tension. It surprises you. It makes you feel something. The same goes for attraction. If every interaction you have with someone is predictable, he might enjoy it, but he's not going to crave it. Craving is born from surprise, from being kept emotionally engaged. You need to create a rhythm where he doesn't always know what's coming next, but in a way that's still authentic to you. This isn't about playing games. It's about bringing the full range of your personality to the table. When you're constantly nice or overly accommodating, it's like feeding someone their favorite dessert every single day. At first, it's amazing, but very quickly, the excitement fades, the craving goes away. Why? Because there's no contrast. There's no mystery. There's no sense of elevation. So what does emotional contrast look like in real life? It's when you're laughing and playful 1 minute, then you shift gears and open up about something meaningful. Maybe you're teasing him a bit, challenging him in a fun way, but then you suddenly drop in with something real, an insight, a vulnerable truth, a sincere compliment. That shift, that's contrast. That's what grabs his attention. It keeps him emotionally invested. Or maybe you're sweet and affectionate in one moment, then the next time you're a bit more distant, not cold, but grounded, self-contained, a little mysterious. That makes him wonder what's going on in your mind. And that wondering creates tension. That tension builds craving. But here's the key. It has to be genuine. If you're faking moods or creating drama just to manipulate emotions, that's not contrast, that's chaos. And real high-value men will walk away from that. Contrast comes from showing all sides of your personality, not just the sides you think he'll like. It's about letting him see you're not just light. You've got depth. You've got edges. You've got emotional texture. And when a man feels that with you, you become more than just someone he enjoys. You become someone he remembers, someone he thinks about when he's alone, because your presence left an emotional imprint. And that imprint doesn't come from being predictable. It comes from being real, from creating emotional moments that stay with him. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're on a date. It's going well. Conversation's flowing, there's laughter, maybe a little flirtation. Now, instead of just riding that wave and keeping it light the whole time, what if you suddenly asked him something deeper, something unexpected? Maybe you ask, most people misunderstand about you. Or you share something personal that shows a different layer of you. That moment when he realizes there's more to you than he thought, that's the hook. That's what makes him curious. That's what makes him crave more. Because when a man experiences different emotional dimensions with you, he doesn't just get the thrill, he gets the connection. And when those two things come together, that's when the craving starts. That's when he's texting you, not because he has to, but because he can't help it. Too many people think attraction is about always being upbeat, always being positive, always putting your best foot forward. But what makes a man addicted to you is when he sees that you're not a one-note song. You're the whole album. You've got light and dark, playfulness and depth, sweetness and sass. That's what emotional contrast looks like. And that's what makes you unforgettable. So don't be afraid to show the parts of you that don't fit neatly into the perfect version of yourself. Don't be afraid to surprise him, to challenge him, to go deep when the moment calls for it. That unpredictability, when rooted in honesty and connection, is what makes you addictive. Craving comes from contrast. Predictability is comfortable, but contrast is what keeps him coming back again and again. You want to know one of the most irresistible traits a woman can have? Passion. And I don't just mean the kind that comes out in romance. I mean the passion you show for your life. You want to make him crave you like a drug? Light up when you talk about something you love. Show him the fire behind your eyes when you're deep in your purpose, your hobby, your dream. Because here's the truth. Confidence is attractive, but passion is addictive. There's something magnetic about watching someone who's truly alive. When you speak about that one thing that excites you, whether it's painting, running your own business, salsa dancing on Thursday nights, volunteering at your local animal shelter, it doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that it means something to you. That's what draws people in. That's what makes someone think, I want more of this. I want to be around this energy. When you show that kind of enthusiasm, you're doing two things at once. First, you're giving him a window into your soul, into something real. Second, you're separating yourself from everyone else who's trying to be what they think someone else wants. That's what most people are doing, trying to fit into a mold, trying to seem impressive by someone else's standards. But real attraction doesn't live in perfection. It lives in the things that make you uniquely you. You see, craving doesn't come from surface level attraction. It comes from depth. When a man sees that you've built a life you love, when he sees you getting excited over something that has nothing to do with him, that's when he starts to lean in. That's when his curiosity gets piqued. He starts asking questions. He wants to know more, not just about the thing you're passionate about, but about you. And that's when you become more than just someone he likes. You become someone he needs more of. Because passion is contagious. It spreads. When you're passionate, you remind him of parts of himself he may have forgotten. Maybe he used to be excited about something but got stuck in routine. Maybe he had dreams he pushed to the side. Being around someone with passion wakes that part of him up. It inspires him. And here's what people don't realize. We don't just crave people who make us feel good. We crave people who make us feel alive. But here's the key. You can't fake this. You can't force excitement about something just to impress him. That's not how craving works. This has to come from the real, raw parts of you. It's about living your life in a way that fills you up. Because the moment you start doing things just to get his attention, you're not being passionate, you're performing. And people can feel the difference. Craving doesn't come from performance, it comes from authenticity. Now, when you're passionate about your life, it also changes the way you show up in a relationship. You're not clinging to him to fill a void. You're not relying on him to be your only source of joy or excitement. You already have that. So when he comes into your world, you're not just inviting him into your heart, you're inviting him into a life that already feels vibrant. That's powerful. That's addictive. Think about this for a second. When someone has their own source of fulfillment, they're not desperate for validation. And that kind of energy is incredibly attractive. It shows you're grounded, secure, and self-sufficient. You're not trying to get something from him. You're simply sharing something with him. You're inviting him into something that's already beautiful. And the crazy part, the more you love your life, the more people will want to be a part of it. That's the paradox. We often think we have to try harder, look better, be more available. But real magnetism happens when you're so full of life, it spills over. He sees that and he starts to think, what would it be like to be close to that energy all the time? What would it be like to wake up next to someone who wakes up excited? That's how you become the kind of woman he can't stop thinking about. Not because you're constantly chasing him or proving your worth, but because you are the experience. Your passion becomes the reason he texts you first thing in the morning. Your glow becomes the thing he misses when he's lying in bed alone at night. Your energy becomes the high he doesn't want to come down from. So don't downplay the things that light you up. Don't dim your fire because someone might not understand it. The right man, he won't just understand it, he'll crave it. And the moment you show up fully in your passion is the moment you become unforgettable. Because nothing is more addictive than a woman who's in love with her own life when it comes to creating that deep craving, the kind that keeps a man thinking about you long after the conversation ends. It's not just about how you look, how funny you are, or even how much you connect. One of the most powerful dynamics in any relationship is this. People value what they invest in. Read that again. People value what they invest in, not what is handed to them on a silver platter with no effort. And that's where most people go wrong. You see, we often think that if we just give more of ourselves, more love, more time, more affection, we'll get the same in return. But giving isn't the issue. Unfiltered giving, without intention, is. What actually creates emotional addiction, the kind of deep magnetic pull where a man finds himself wanting more and more of your time, is when your love, your energy, and your affection come as a response to his emotional investment, not just his attention. Let's break that down. Attention is cheap. Anyone can shoot you a hey text. Anyone can like your Instagram story. Anyone can flirt for a few minutes and then disappear for 3 days. None of that requires real effort. None of that creates true emotional momentum. If you respond with energy, with availability, with validation to a man who has only given you crumbs of effort, you're unintentionally teaching him that minimal investment still gets maximum return. That is not how desire is built. That's how you become an option. On the other hand, when you hold space for connection, but only reciprocate emotionally when you see emotional effort, that's when he begins to realize, well, this woman isn't impressed by words. She's moved by actions. When he feels that being around you requires him to show up consistently, to be present, to be thoughtful, that's when the game changes. That's when he doesn't just want you, he starts craving the feeling he gets when he earns your attention. That's when it becomes more than a fling. That's when it becomes something he's willing to prioritize. Here's what this looks like in real life. Let's say he texts you late at night with a vague "what's up?" and you've barely heard from him in days. If you instantly respond, meet up, give him access to your time, body, or emotions, you're showing him that he doesn't have to try very hard. But if instead you protect your energy and wait to engage until he reaches out with genuine effort, asks to make a plan, follows through, or shows consistent thoughtfulness. You're training him to understand that your presence is earned, not assumed. And it's not about playing games. It's about setting a standard that says, if you want to get close to me, I need to feel you trying. The people we chase after the most in life are the ones who made us rise to a higher standard, not the ones who gave everything away just because we showed up. And here's the beautiful part. When a man does start putting in that real emotional investment, that's when you do reward him. That's when your warmth, your attention, your affection become a powerful motivator, because now he's experiencing the feedback loop. When I try, she opens up more. When I invest, she brings out the best in me. He becomes emotionally hooked. That's when it becomes a mutual dance, not one person giving and the other just receiving. You want to create a space where he understands that attention isn't enough. Effort is the currency. Anyone can flirt, anyone can say nice things. But someone who feels your energy rise only when they're showing up consistently, respectfully, and meaningfully, that person begins to associate effort with reward. They begin to crave the version of you that shows up when they've earned it. And over time, this dynamic becomes incredibly powerful, because not only are you building a relationship on mutual effort, you're also becoming someone he respects deeply. He doesn't just like you, he values you. He doesn't just want to talk to you, he wants to show up for you. He doesn't just crave your body, he craves the connection, the growth, the depth that only comes when he gives his full self to the process. That's how you shift from being a temporary thrill to being an unforgettable experience. From someone he likes to someone he can't stop thinking about. When he realizes that your love isn't just given, it's earned through genuine effort. That's when you become the woman he can't help but crave. And that's exactly where you want to be. You know, a lot of people hear the word mystery and immediately think it means playing games. That to keep someone hooked, you have to act distant, reply hours later, or pretend you're busy when you're really not. But that's not what real mystery is. Real mystery isn't about manipulation. It's about genuinely having a full, rich life that someone else wants to be a part of. Think about it. What makes something addictive? It's not just that it's there all the time. It's the feeling that you never quite have it all figured out. That every time you experience it, there's something new to discover. That's what makes someone crave you like a drug. It's not in pretending to be something you're not. It's in being something that's so real, so multi-layered, that they can't stop thinking about you, even when you're not in the room. When you're always available, when you're always the one reaching out, always the one filling the silence, it removes that tension. It takes away that beautiful space where someone starts to miss you, to wonder about you, to desire being around you more. People don't crave what they can access at any moment without effort. They crave what's valuable and just slightly out of reach, not because it's playing hard to get, but because it's genuinely busy being amazing. That's the kind of energy you want to create. You're not the woman waiting around for his call. You're not refreshing your messages, wondering why he hasn't texted back. You're the woman whose time is filled with things that fulfill her, with purpose, with joy, with progress. Your time isn't empty, it's invested. And when he sees that, he starts to realize that he's not just competing with other men, he's competing with your life for space. That's when the craving starts to grow. It's not about posting the perfect photo or trying to make him jealous or withholding affection to keep him chasing. No, it's much more powerful than that. It's about being someone who's already enough with or without him. Someone who shows up fully when she's present, but doesn't need to chase anyone to feel valuable. Mad energy. That's what haunts him. In the best possible way. You don't need to tell him how busy you are. You show it in the way you respond, in the way you hold space for yourself, in the way you say, I'd love to see you, but I've already got plans tonight. How about tomorrow? Not as a tactic, but because you genuinely have a full calendar of things that matter to you, whether it's your career, your friends, your workouts, your passions. When those things are real, you become real. You become three-dimensional. You become unforgettable. Because here's the truth. You don't crave what you've conquered. You crave what continues to surprise you, what continues to inspire you. That's what your life should be, not just to impress him, but because you deserve a life like that, with or without him in it. And when he does spend time with you, it's not just that you're fun or beautiful or interesting. It's that you bring a new energy into his world. You open a new window he didn't even know he needed to see through. You don't just become a person in his life. You become a source of life. And he starts to realize something. If I don't make a real effort, I could lose this. She won't chase me. She'll keep living. And I'll be the one watching from the outside. That's where the real pull begins. That's where the craving gets planted deep. Because while others are giving away their time, their energy, their heart with no boundaries, you're standing tall in your worth, not out of arrogance, but out of deep self-respect. You know what you bring to the table. And because you're not always available, because your life is full, he has to work a little harder to be part of it. And guess what? He wants to, because now it means something. So no, you don't need to chase. You don't need to convince. You don't need to prove. You just need to live fully, joyfully, and unapologetically. And when you do that, you become the kind of woman he can't stop thinking about. Because you're not just a moment, you're a movement. And that's exactly what he'll crave. You want to know how to make him crave you like a drug? Then listen closely to this, because this part is a game changer. See, one of the biggest misunderstandings I see over and over again is that people think craving is just about physical attraction or mystery, or showing up in the perfect outfit with the perfect flirtatious line. But craving goes so much deeper than that. It's not just about how you look. It's about how you make someone feel about themselves when they're around you. Here's the thing. Men don't just fall for beauty. They fall for how they feel in your presence. They fall for the emotional experience you offer them. And one of the most potent ways to become addictive in someone's life is to create this very specific feeling. The feeling that he's winning with you. That being with you actually brings out the best in him. This is where so many people miss the mark. They confuse independence with shutting someone out. Or they think needing nothing from a man is the ultimate power move. But real power, real magnetism, is when you know how to make someone feel useful without feeling used. When you create a dynamic where he feels that being around you adds value to his life, and just as importantly, he gets to add value to yours. It's called triggering his hero instinct, that deep, often unspoken desire in men to step up for someone they care about, to feel like they're contributing, protecting, helping, supporting. Not because you need rescuing, because you absolutely don't, but because you're open to letting him invest in you emotionally. And when someone invests emotionally, that's when attachment starts to form. Think about it. What do we become most addicted to? The things we work for, the things we invest in, the people we show up for over and over again. Why? Because our effort connects us to the outcome. If a man feels like he's just a background extra in your perfectly curated life, he may admire you, but he won't crave you. If everything's too polished, too self-contained, too I got this, he may be impressed, but he won't feel necessary. And while you don't need him, what makes him stay is the feeling that he's not replaceable in your world. So how do you do this? How do you invite a man to step into that role without faking it or playing games? It's simple moments. It's when you ask for his advice on something, not because you can't figure it out, but because you value his perspective. It's when you notice something he's good at and genuinely acknowledge it. Not flattery, not manipulation, just sincere appreciation. You're letting him feel seen, valued, like he matters. Maybe he offers to fix something for you or help you with a project. And instead of brushing it off, like you got it all handled, you say, that would actually mean a lot, thank you. And then, this part is crucial, you let him know that what he did made your life easier, better, lighter. You don't owe him anything for it. You're not giving out gold stars for basic decency, but you reflect back to him the value he brought into your life. And that starts to wire something in his brain, a link, a memory, that being around you feels good, that he's not just attracted to you, he's emotionally useful to you. And that's a powerful addictive feeling. It's a delicate balance because yes, you're independent. Yes, you've got your own goals, your own routine, your own backbone, but you're also someone who lets people in. You don't hoard your emotions like secrets, keeping everything locked up tight. You're warm, you're generous with your presence, and you're clear on your standards, which means when you do let someone contribute, it feels like an honor, not a burden. That's what builds the craving. It's not about stroking egos. It's about building a dynamic where you both feel like you're better with each other, where there's a rhythm of give and take, and he feels that his giving matters to you, that his effort is noticed, that you're not just tolerating him, you're thriving with him. You light up when he adds something to your world, and that light, that's the dopamine hit. That's the chemical rush that says, I want more of this. So remember, don't just look for someone to chase you. Look for someone who's capable of investing in you. And when you see that happening, let him feel the impact of his presence. Let him feel that with you, he's not just wanted, he's winning. That's when the craving begins. You see, there's a big difference between being the prize and being the experience. When people talk about being the prize, they often think it means sitting back and waiting to be chosen. But here's the truth. Being the prize without being an experience is like gift wrapping an empty box. It might look attractive on the outside, but once someone opens it, there's nothing compelling enough to make them want to stay. What really makes someone crave you, truly crave you like a drug, is the feeling they get when they're around you. It's not just who you are, it's what they experience through you. Think about it. We're addicted to experiences that awaken something in us, whether it's joy, challenge, comfort, inspiration, or even a little mystery. What hooks us is the emotional journey. So if you want someone to crave you, you have to think beyond the surface. It's not about being perfect or always saying the right thing. It's about being real and layered. When you're around him, are you just occupying space, or are you leaving a mark What makes you unforgettable isn't how much you're doing for him. It's how you make him feel about himself and about life when he's with you. Do you make him feel more alive? Do you challenge him to level up? Do you connect with him in a way that makes the rest of the world fall away, even for just a moment? Because here's what most people miss. A man doesn't crave you just because you're nice or pretty or even amazing. He craves the state he gets into when he's around you. So if you're fun, grounded, sharp, emotionally intelligent, he begins to associate you with that internal shift. And that's the addiction. Think of it like this. When someone takes a drug, they're not addicted to the pill itself. They're addicted to what it does to their nervous system. It alters their state. You can do the same without the chemical, by becoming the kind of person who knows how to create emotion in a moment. By being present, playful, deep when it matters, and warm without being needy. When you create that dynamic range, you become alive in his world. And to do that, you don't need to pretend to be someone else. In fact, the opposite, you need to access all the most dynamic parts of who you already are. Your wit, your calm, your ambition, your silliness, those little bursts of joy that erupt when you're with your friends, bring that version of you into your interactions with him. Let him see it. Let him feel it. Most women hide the best parts of themselves because they're too focused on not messing it up or saying the right thing. But connection doesn't come from perfection. It comes from truth. It comes from vulnerability paired with confidence. It comes from someone showing up fully, even if that means risking not being everyone's cup of tea. You're not meant to be everyone's favorite flavor. You're meant to be someone's addiction. And that happens when you stop trying to be enough for someone and start being authentically expressive. Let your standards be clear. Let your humor shine. Let your dreams be loud. Let your boundaries be firm. Be kind without being a pushover. Be sexy without performing. Be confident without being cold. That combination, that's lethal. Because now you're not just a momentary thrill, you're a lasting imprint. He doesn't just want to be around you because you're attractive or sweet or fun. He wants to be around you because something about you activates something in him. He leaves the interaction feeling better, clearer, more alive, more driven. And when a man consistently walks away from you with that feeling, he'll chase that experience every chance he gets. You become a source of energy, not a drain, a challenge, not a game, a safe space, not a comfort zone. He doesn't get the same thing every time, but what he gets is always real. So the question isn't, how do I make him like me? The question is, what do I want him to feel when he's around me? And am I showing up in a way that invites that emotion, not just for him, but for me? Because when you're aligned with your own energy, when you're living in your passion, when you're playful but purposeful, you become irresistible. He can't just walk away from that. Because you're not just the girl he wants to date, you become the woman he needs to feel alive. That's what makes you addictive. That's what makes him crave you.